And we are live for pre-show. Looks like it. Hopefully. I believe in my
Nice.
abilities to hit start stream on OBS. It looks like it is correct. I see Soul is already in the Twitch chat. Hello, Soul. We're quacking. We gotta wait a bit for ads to stop going on Twitch, and then we can officially get started. We are going to be missing, I believe we heard Shadow's not going to make it, Shino's not going to make it, and Andy's not going to make it, I believe?
Correct.
Okay. Wait, Shadow did say they're not going to make it, right? I didn't just imagine that?
Shadow said he would not be here.
Okay, yes, okay. And this is not the time-killing arc, this is the... Wait a minute,
It should
wait a
be
minute.
the eye-opening arc.
Wait a minute, did I fuck up my previous tweet then? Oh my god, I did. I didn't update. When I posted about us doing the Beyond Midnight arc, I wrote Time Killing arc on the tweet. How embarrassing. How embarrassing.
You're supposed to be a professional.
Oh my god, nobody called it out. What the fuck? That's like nobody cares about the
They're all
Beyond
just
Midnight arc.
testing you.
It's like nobody cared about the little side story arc that could.
Wah wah.
Did it.
Okay. This one is the eye-opening arc. And it has this YouTube URL. Or so I'm told. And the blue sky. Post, and I got post on the Discord. How's everybody been doing this week? Anybody do anything cool for Easter? Anything exciting? Eat a lot of food?
Yeah, it was
I was also at a convention.
Oh, which
I had
one?
a lot of free food, and then I ate too much more free food.
Oh shit.
That's what happens when your grandma makes like one pie for every 3 people that show up.
Damn.
It'd be
That's
like
how
that.
you do it.
Where's the link? I literally just posted the link. There it is. How am I supposed to stream without my link?
Grab Zelda instead.
How could you do this?
You're actually thinking of Zelda's monster?
Wait, I forgot to actually do the ping roll. You get pinged. Boom. Get pinged, idiot.
Oh, I did meet the lady who does the voice of Mion and Shion in the anime.
Oh. Wait, the
English?
Yeah.
Japanese or English?
English.
Wait, who's the English
She's
VA?
also the English voice for Nurse Joy.
Oh. Wait, who's that?
So, Megan Hollingshead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did she tell you all the answers for the answers arc?
No, unfortunately not.
Fucked up. Next time you guys meet with Higurashi celebrities while we're reading, next time you meet up with any celebrities related to a series that we're currently reading, you have to tell them we're doing that so that they can come onto the show for a week to roll. You guys gotta do that. If you need to, you can tell them you're associated with the Jotaku Network. I'll give you a business card later. Don't worry.
Look, they already brought My Hero Academia voice actress to come and meet me when I was in a tea party because I waited in line for an hour and a half for her and had to go.
Oh my god.
The people in the
Wait,
autograph
anime
room were
conventions
very
have tea
nice.
parties?
They can, yeah.
Well, it was a J Fashion tea party at the convention.
Mine has a maid cafe. It's not a very good maid cafe, but it has it.
Apparently,
It's not the fault of
mine
the maids.
had like
But yeah.
I can put on a dress if you want.
Oh, well, shit.
apparently mine had a maid cafe like 2 years ago, which is before I started going. So it's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah, the problem with the maid cafe is
Yeah.
at the convention is like it's not the maids. The maids are doing what they can, but the venue severely fucks them because they say you can't serve food yourself. We have to serve the food still through our basic ass stall, but it's just in the back of the cafe room. So everybody has to line up for it, and they have to pay the absurd prices for basically just generic con stuff that you can get on the sides. Like, wow,
Here's your corn
thanks.
dog, Moe Moe Kyun.
Thanks. That's so fun. Yippee. And like they can't even like go to the table and like take your order and then go get it for you or whatever. No, you have to line up to do that whole process yourself. It was very annoying. I don't know if they changed it since I did that, but that was like a couple years ago when we tried that.
I mean, they only completely defeat the purpose of having maids, but that's okay.
Exactly.
They also apparently used to have a ramen eating contest, and it's just like, dang it! Now they don't even have ramen.
Oh shit. I think the highlight of my
We
weekend...
used to be a country.
I think the highlight of my weekend, there's two big highlights. One was going to the Yoko Kanno concert, which was great. And the other was I went to the Kanebanashi screening, which they also then afterwards gave us a live Rakugo performance from an actual Rakugo performer who even my Japanese teacher apparently knew. I guess he's pretty well known. Katsura Sunshine. And it was a very fun performance. I liked it.
I think the highlight of mine was the Nerdlesque review, where it was like nerdy burlesque.
Oh.
That was cool. I got to see Waluigi strip to WAP, but they replaced every time they say WAP with the Waluigi wah.
Oh my god.
So that was good.
Soul in chat saying, thought your highlight was getting smear campaigned by the anime bosses staff. Listen, I don't know who has it out for me there, who decided to screw me over like that with the editing and then show it before the Yoko Kanno concert and the Needy Girl overdose screening at the same time. Who did this? Who decided to do me like that? I was here to have a fun time, okay? It's not my fault Sasuke ended up being mid, okay? In my blind rankings. Listen. Alright, hold on. Give me 1 sec to grab some stuff over here.
How dare they quote me?
Alright, gamers, are we ready? Are we ready to win?
Yeah.
I'm going to take that as a yes. Okay, let me just close this. And find my copies of this. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get started then. Welcome everybody to another exciting episode of the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Spotify. All at the same time. Well, Spotify's not at the same time. Spotify's later. We are here again to continue our discussions about the Higurashi When They Cry manga. Specifically, now we are in the Answers arc. So we're here for some answers. Finally. Of course. And to start that off, we're going to be discussing the eye-opening arc, aka Mea Kashihen, I believe. But before we even get into that, let's introduce our guests that we have this week. In order that I see listed here, we have Arimia How Heart. Introduce yourself.
How, I'm Arimia. I like shonen shit. This week I would recommend something that's not shonen. I believe the classification is actually seinen. Witch Hat. The anime's out.
It's true.
We watched
it
it
was good.
here.
Dang.
It's good.
Mine.
It was very good.
It's very good.
How would you describe the plot to people who have no idea what this is?
Coming of age story of a girl who finds herself thrown into the political world of magic.
Okay. Go check that out if you are interested. We watched the first 2 episodes together, and I thought it was pretty good. I'm definitely interested in keeping up with that, so yeah.
Also, cute girls doing cute things.
This is true, too. This is very true. All right, well, thank you so much for that. Next up, Guatemala Stone. Okay. Introduce yourself.
Hi there. How's it going? Hopefully I don't come off sound confused. Thanks for having me. Recommendation will be some normie shit because I've been very bummed out following the end of Chainsaw Man for many reasons. So check out The Pit if you can. It's I'd say hyper-realistic look at the world of doctoring and nursing and in the ER. It's pretty damn good. And I believe season 2 is still going on right now, so you got some time to catch up before the series ends for a while. But yeah.
All right. What was that? What was that you said? The Pit? The Pit?
The Pit.
All
2
right.
T's.
Go check
Shout
out
out Pittsburgh.
go check out The Pit if you are interested in that. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Kenta Tech. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aztec, and I like bad media. I haven't consumed a whole lot of new media recently, so... Shit, have I recommended this before? Oh well. So this is a game called The Root Trees Are Dead. It's,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
you basically have to solve a family tree to sort out some inheritance issues for people, and it's fun. It's a nice point and click
Oh.
puzzle thing.
What was this called? Root Trees Are Dead or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Thank you so much for that. Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Cool. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Thrice Demoned Away. Introduce yourself.
Howdy, it is Thrice, aka my she they. My recommendation was stolen, but
Ha!
I will
Damn.
I will also recommend Saskia Mieno is a BL anime that I've been watching recently, and very cutesy. And I just started reading Bleach, so yeah.
Ooh.
So we can recommend Sasuke and Miyano, but not Bleach.
Based.
Uh-huh.
Bleach has done wonderful things for the anime community, but it did them 20 years ago, so...
Yeah.
Look, I've just started. I've only read the first 3 volumes, okay?
All
Oh, so you're
right.
still when it's good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems that
yeah.
way. I went
What
to
does
the
it-
library and saw that there was at least 72 volumes, and it's like, oh, okay. Long way to
Yeah.
go.
That's a light read. No worries. We could do it.
Just a little bit. It'll keep me busy.
It's only a little longer than Umineko was. No big deal.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Thrice. Next up, me, Wolfborg, aka Chaplin, aka the best anime book club host ever of all time, who's currently slightly sniffly at the ends of recovering from post-con sickness very slightly. It wasn't too bad. It was mostly just my nose running a fuck ton the past couple days. So if you hear me be a little sniffly tonight, that's the reason why. So I am here tonight not only to discuss Higurashi, okay, but to recommend to you, gamers out there, all of you, to go watch Akane Banashi. It is a very great series that I enjoyed from the manga of what I read a while ago, and I'm very sorely behind on what it's currently at, but I really enjoyed what was there when I did read it, and now it's got an anime airing this season. And it is, I believe, being uploaded to YouTube first, which had me a little nervous, but it seems fine so far. I think it's also being uploaded to Crunchyroll later, but I could be wrong about that. But it is up on YouTube. The first episode, I think, is just for free on YouTube, and I think the other episodes will also be for free on YouTube, but like delayed slightly. I'm not sure how it's going to work with that. But it is a shonen series about a girl who is getting into the world of Rakugo performances to get revenge for her dad, who was a very promising Rakugo performer, but was then expelled for vague reasons. That you can enjoy the series to find out what those reasons might be, or you just see how it goes itself. This is great. It's great. Go check out Akane Banashi. It's a very fun time. If you don't know anything about Rakugo, it's also pretty interesting to learn about that too. So, yeah, go check that out if you are interested in that. Next up, women apologist. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Marianne, or Anne, whichever you prefer. My recommendation this week is going to be probably Nirvana the band, the show, the movie.
Nirvana the what?
Nirvana the band, the show, the movie.
Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. I can't tell if you're doing a bit or if this is a real thing. I don't know what this
This
is.
is a real ass movie.
I can
Okay.
verify it's a real thing. That's a good pick, by the way.
Because I know Nirvana
It's-
the band, so that's where I'm getting
Nope.
confused.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna play the Rivoli soon. I just go in, don't know anything. Just
Okay.
watch the movie.
Okay, so this is a movie in the end of it all, right?
It's a real. It is a real movie. I swear to God, I am not fucking with you.
Okay, all right.
It is a real movie, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever fucking seen.
The more you defend it, the less I believe you.
I'm not defending it.
Listen, they're here to apologize for women, okay? Not the movie, all right?
The movie knows what it fucking did.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. If you are interested, go check out Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, in that order. That's how it's written. Go check it out.
You can also
Yeah.
watch the show, but probably don't watch the web series.
Should they check out the band?
I mean,
I'm sure
I
a
don't.
lot of people have already
They
done
don't. They've never written a song, so I don't.
Oh,
I
interesting.
can't say.
Interesting. Okay.
Someday they will.
Well, maybe. All right. Well, thank you
Keep
so
the
much for
faith.
that. Yes, of course. All right, and that should be everybody that we have here for this week. So let's begin. Let's get some fucking answers here, okay? We're in the eye-opening arc. Our eyes are opening slightly. We haven't finished the arc yet because we
Yeah.
only got halfway through this week. But let's get some answers here, right? We're getting answers, right?
You got some answers, didn't you?
Of course, yeah. So first things first.
All of them.
First things first, I immediately opened up this week with a question, a new question, which was, why are we starting with like the other side of the Watanagashi hen? as opposed to the one that came before that. I think Aztec came into here before we started pre-show, also wondering the same thing. We thought we were going to be getting answers in order, and it seems like that's not the case.
Don't worry about it.
It made me wonder if I had accidentally made the schedule wrong, and that I had just told everyone to read an arc that we skipped ahead. But
completely correct.
Yeah,
I was legitimately concerned I had read the wrong thing.
I was concerned about this too. I was like, nah, it seems to be combining some elements from another, the one that focused on Satoko as well. So maybe this is just what this is doing. But I was like, I don't know. But I was like, listen, we have multiple Higurashi experts here who definitely would have told me by now if something like that was wrong. I would assume.
It's a generous title you're giving us right there.
I mean, listen, more of an expert than
enthusiast, not expert.
Sure,
aficionados.
We'll go with that. So, this is continuing. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. The con drifting arc, which was Watanagashi Hen, I think.
Watanagashi Hen.
Watanagashi Hen. Which was focused on the reveal of Shion being in the cast, Mion's twin sister, and focusing on the Mion Shion as the focus heroine of that arc before. This is continuing it, or this is showing us the story basically again, but from the other side. Instead of it focusing on Keiichi's perspective of everything, it's focusing on more specifically Shion's side, but we get to see a little bit of what's going on with Mion as well, I guess, through this whole process. But it's mostly told through Shion's side of the story. Which, man, her side of the story is fucking rough. Jesus. We are immediately given... First of all, it starts a year before the Keiichi stuff. We get to actually see Satoshi here, who... as I suspected, looks exactly like Keiichi, but blonde. As I had suspected, it is just 1-for-1, I think.
Not exactly, but it's pretty close.
it's the thing,
like, close enough that you can see why he's such a fucking. Why everyone is like, wait, hold on.
I have to know.
Because like.
I did see him at first, and my first impression was, wow, Keiichi's like really off model for this arc.
You see, Satoshi has the bang thing where like the hair goes up, whereas Keiichi is just all straight across. But aside from that, it's yeah.
I gotta know for the VN, did we just do the hair color shift for the sprite? Or was there an actual difference for the sprites in the original Ryukushi sprites?
I'm grabbing the sprites.
Okay, cool.
I want to say it's basically just the same as what Ari said, but yeah.
Because I was just thinking back to what he did with Umineko characters like Battler versus young Kinzo.
Well.
Okay, all right. Well, he's got more expressive eyebrows going on, I guess.
He did redraw them. I'll give him that.
He wasn't an artist.
He did redraw
okay,
the
yeah,
art,
the hair is slightly different. I could see that, very, very slightly.
And his shirt is blue, not red.
Yeah, his binder is blue, not red.
Sorry.
Oh, of course. I'm showing this on stream as well for those of you who are viewing this on a platform that has visuals, which is pretty much everything but Spotify. This is Keiichi. This is Satoshi.
And this is your brain on drugs.
This is your brain
on Oyashiro-sama.
Don't tell Dion.
Okay. If I enhance a bit, I'm just saying, if I enhance from side by side, there's notable differences because but
it's like a real Shinji and Kaoru.
say enhance 3 times. The last time he's just replaced with a picture of Battler.
Oh my god. See, they got different belts going on too. That's something. That's something. All right. So
One is open, but
okay. So there's enough of a difference. Okay, there's enough of a difference.
Legally distinct difference.
Sure. So
Yeah, this actually falls under fair use.
yes, but we meet Satoshi. You know, the right before the incidents that's gonna happen, the Oyashiro-sama curse that's gonna happen that year that results in him transferring schools in quotes. But there's steps before we got there. It starts with Shion breaking out of like an all-girls Catholic school that she was basically sent to, imprisoned at, basically, by the Sonozaki family to keep her the fuck away from... I guess the goal was keep her away so that Mion can take over the family. And they said something like, it is passed down in our family. If you are to give birth to twins, you must kill the second one before you give it its first cleaning. So that we don't have to, I guess, acknowledge it or whatever. We just have the one successor, and they're not like fighting for shit or something. I don't remember I don't know if it was ever said exactly why that was the thing, but they were just like, basically, if you have two of them, you're supposed to kill one of them.
frequently does this come up?
I think I disconnected for a second there. Am I back? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
No.
you're back now.
Okay, what just happened? We were talking about
I think Aztec was in the middle of saying something, and then it just fully cut out.
Thank you.
I asked
Yutori.
how frequently this comes up that they have a rule about it. Like, does their family just pop twins out like nobody's business, or?
That's what I was wondering too. I had also wondered if maybe it was a connection towards was it China that basically had the one child policy thing for
Yes.
a long time? I didn't know if
Yeah,
it was somehow
China.
related to that, like through cultural years or something like that.
I think it was more supposed to be just so they don't fight, so there's not that level of infighting.
Yeah, especially because the like crime family. That's kind of
Yeah.
the whole thing.
And it's such an isolated town already. It just
As Sol has pointed out, also twin superstition is very much also a thing.
Only one tiger for one mountain.
Okay.
of course it's just said it's just a lore, I guess. She doesn't know if they actually did it or not. Because I mean she's alive. For now.
Yeah, in their case, what they said was, we're just gonna send her away, and then she breaks out of school and basically just tries to live next door to the place, but like in secret. She's like trying to like slowly make connections with the family that she knows would be on her side in supporting her just being around, while like trying to hide from the grandma who's very clearly looking for where the fuck Shion is and why she escaped or whatever, so that they can get rid of her again. And during this time, she meets her boy Satoshi, and pretty quickly falls in love with him. I forget how long it takes, but it's a very, I think Ari described it best. How did you describe it with the the shoujo connections there or whatever?
Oh, yeah, I posted it in spoilers zone just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Where
I'll show the screen cap of
Shion
it.
and Satoshi are like going out and getting groceries, and he is bad at literally every part of it.
What color is broccoli supposed to be again?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. But he doesn't know where his wallet is. He drops all of his change. He doesn't even check the price of things, which really surprised me. Like,
or how many people it
boy,
feeds.
boy, you're broke. Like, we can't be doing this.
No, it's fine. It's
Um,
fine.
But, and then, like, Shion looks over at him, and there's the shoujo sparkles with her thinking, he's so unreliable and inept.
You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of the Sailor Moon
Yeah,
author.
Tuxedo Mask.
yeah, Tuxedo
Yeah.
Mask.
Yeah.
Listen, okay? Listen, it's fine.
It's the same picture.
So, she makes a connection with him. He immediately assumes that that's Mion because he goes to school with Mion. So whenever he sees Shion, he's hanging out with her as if, she's Mion, because he doesn't really know at the time. But we find out later he kind of could tell that there was kind of a difference at times with them. So he sort of knew in a certain way, but he doesn't really know until much later. But it's through having Satoshi here that we learn that this is also getting into the story that we were seeing in the curse killing arc, I believe is the Satoko focused arc, where we learn and see a lot about the abuse that Satoko was facing at home through the aunt. It's mostly shown as the aunt doing it all here. We were obviously given the impression in that arc that a lot of it was also the uncle as well. When we read that arc here, it's mostly focusing on the aunt doing it because of what happens to the aunt later, of course. And throughout this, Satoshi is working to make some money to just make him some money for him and Satoko. But it's told to us that Satoshi wants to make a lot of money to buy a present for Satoko. The present is a 100,000 yen giant stuffed bear. Why is this fucking thing 100,000 yen? Does it come with a gun? Why is it so expensive? This is fucking $1,000 bear? How expensive do these bears get? What
Well, they only perform the cotton drifting once a year. Where else are they going to get cotton?
Free redemption.
I had to stop for a minute and say to myself, you're how old are you? And you're working a lot to make $1,000 for a fucking stuffed bear? I guess maybe he just has no concept of money if he wasn't questioning how much his food cost and shit, and he's just doing all this for a bear. I have to wonder.
I think the business is a front, and that bear is full of coke.
I have to imagine it is. Why else is that $1,000? What the fuck? I can understand why it hasn't sold.
For it.
I think it's amazing that he was worried somebody was going to buy it first. What the fuck are you talking about?
You were the only one foolish enough to purchase this.
They had this. Shion was like, "Oh, you can just go reserve it. I'll go in with you. We'll go reserve it together." And then they reserve it. It's I don't think anybody was going to buy a $1,000 teddy bear anytime soon in this town. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that was wild. I think, but it's so wild to the point where it makes me think that that's not actually what he was trying to buy. It makes me almost think that we're just being lied to by Ryukushi about what he and other people think he is trying to buy. Don't know if that's the case though, but that's fucking wild. I don't know if that's a mistranslation or whatever. Buying the bear is one thing. The price, I think, is what's absurd to me. Jesus. Anyways, the bear aside, he's working to make a bunch of money, in order to get this thing, and he's also struggling because he not only is he working, he's doing all school stuff. He's trying to practice for baseball, which apparently he is good at, except when they actually play, he chokes, I think was one of the lines that they say at some point. I forget if he's supposed to actually be good or if he's just, I don't know, doing his best or whatever with that. Either way,
think
It
he
was
is, like,
he
their
can
ace.
hit the ball a lot. He just hits like a wimp.
I see. So all that, and then also obviously having to deal with all the home stuff, and the home stuff is pretty bad because like I don't think it's explained to us whether or not he gets any of the abuse. By the way, just real quick, they've a few times here, and I don't know if this is a translation choice or something, taken what's clearly abuse at the home and just called it bullying. I don't think what the grandma's doing is just bullying. I think the proper word for that is abuse, but I don't
They're
know.
also like 14.
I guess, but like we were given the impression in past arcs that they tried to call somebody at some point about that situation and they just didn't. They ignored it because of because they said they had tried it before. We saw them try it again with Keiichi, but they said they had tried it before in the past. But I think they had ignored it because of what was it? It was like Satoko had, or they had determined that Satoko had lied about abuse in the past or something, or said that Satoko had made up abuse in the past, so they don't really believe a lot of future claims of abuse because of it, or something to that regard. I forget what it was fully, but I think it was something similar to that. It was just one thing I noticed where Satoshi is like yelling at like Shion / Mion, well Shion, who he believes is Mion at the time. He's like yelling at her saying, "You don't know anything about what we're going through, about Satoko being bullied at home and all that." And it's like, I don't know if I'd use the word bullied for that, but that's whatever. That's like a little nitpick, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. I understand the overall point is his life is pretty bad because, you know, whether or not he's being abused, like, I don't know if he is, but we know at least that Satoko is being abused whenever he's not around, I guess, or even when he is around, it looks like he was too, but he just kind of feels like there's not much he could do about it, and I think there's an implication and or it's just flat out stated, mostly by other people, I think, that they Satoshi might be held back by needing to protect Satoko, which I thought was really fucked up for Shion to get pissed at Satoko about in the classroom and start like beating on her in front of everybody else over it. I thought that was real fucked up, but that was a whole scene. I was getting bits of like this was very clearly a continuation of the other side of Watanagashi Hen, but it brought in all the real shit that was there in the curse killing arc, and I'm just like, man, everything that was going on with Satoko's side of the bullshit going on with them fucked me up when we read that stuff before, and it's fucking me up again reading about it here. And all of that is just supposed to be the catalyst for whatever else happens with Satoshi later, which is very interesting how we get there, I think. What are our general thoughts about Satoshi now that we've met the boy himself and seen how he behaves, how he treats his sister, how he hangs out with Shion? How do we think about the boy? Do we like him? Do we agree with him? What's thoughts? Nobody likes him?
I mean, I think he's the typical, like, protective, doting older brother type. Like, that's like the base of like his everything.
He's
I
just not
don't,
much of a character.
yeah, and I don't know if I would even say that he particularly like likes Shion back all that much. At least not any more than like the rest of his friends. I don't know.
So it's one of those things where you think Shion is just ascribing a lot more than is actually happening based on their few interactions that she has, and considering she basically doesn't get to really have any other friends, is basically the way you view it. I would kind of agree. It's probably
I
definitely
think so. 'Cause,
possible.
I mean, you even just the way that she treats Satoko when she like is beating her up. It's like, okay, she's like obsessed with this boy in a very unhealthy way, even for a teenage girl.
It definitely explained to me that one scene that we saw in a past arc where they're on like a ladder, Keiichi and I think we were supposed to assume it was Mion at the time, but now it's very clear that that was Shion, where she's like, I fucking hate that girl Satoko. I fucking hate her. I forget exactly what she said, but she's like, I hate her. I hate her. And I think at the time when we talked about it, I was like, damn, what did Satoko do to you? What did she do? And apparently...
Big time beefing with a middle schooler.
It's like big time beefing over her for being abused. Like, how dare you be abused and inconvenience Satoshi? It's like, what's going on?
Like, that's not the root of the problem.
Yeah. But she also likes him to the point of being like, oh, his aunt's dead and he probably did it. So, Mion, did you tell the cops he has an alibi? Why the fuck did you tell the cops he has an alibi? Now you fucked this all up. How are we gonna fix this now? We gotta fix it. We gotta give him an alibi. Like, not even like a... no, there's no way he could do it. He's like, hold on. We gotta give him an alibi before we do anything else. We gotta lie to the cops real quick. Well, you didn't lie to them yet? Okay, well, don't bother that, because you're bad at lying.
Yep.
You can't just lie off the top for you. Okay, so we gotta come
You
up with
can't change your story now.
But it's a little jumping ahead a little to get into the next bit, so I think I'll wait for that. But yeah, the Shion being obsessed with him was like, I mean, it gets pretty bad even later on, the year later when he's like gone for a while too. It's pretty bad with how much she's obsessed with him, and like you said, it is a pretty good question of like how much he actually cared for her. I had also wondered how much of the feelings that she might have felt were actually just feelings that he had more towards Mion. Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It had felt like, you know, at times he'd been fighting with Mion that Shion didn't know about at all, and was like shocked at how cold he was being towards her, but it was actually just feelings that he had towards Mion that he was like fighting with or whatever. But I mean, and they had the call later though where Satoshi's trying to call Mion to apologize for how they fought in school earlier, but Mion says it seems like he was really trying to call to apologize to you because you were the one there that day, but also you seem like somebody who can more connect with him emotionally than I can, so it should be you on the call, basically, and basically hands over that side to Shion to deal with. So I wasn't sure exactly how much of that goes, you know, for Mion or to Shion. I did very much appreciate seeing not just the Shion side of the story, but also seeing the Shion side of the story from the year before the events began. I did really appreciate that. I thought it added a lot to my appreciation of this general arc that we're focusing on. So yeah, I appreciated seeing all this backstory stuff. But what was the other bit that happened after? Also, Ari, we can hear you typing. I don't know if you realize this.
I don't.
I did. Okay. What was I getting into? The Satoshi stuff. The aunt being one of the sacrifices that year. The aunt was violently bashed in her head. They violently bashed in her head. Most likely with a bat, probably, or some kind of object like a bat, maybe. I would assume. And, you know, our boy Satoshi may or may not have had an alibi, so we had to. I found it very interesting that Shion was immediately lying for him in front of the cops, and Satoshi just kind of went with it, not like wondering, like, so it makes me be like, so does this mean he actually did it, or is he just like very confused at what's going on? Is he like, haha, yay, sure, whatever you say, haha, like.
He was drawn with that intensely guilty look on his face the whole time they were talking to the cops.
But then again, Oishi was also drawn with a very suspicious face, as always.
He was back to being creepy this arc.
Like, so the cops are obviously like, we gotta talk to Satoshi about this. You know, let's just talk to you for a second. It won't take too long. But Shion's there, and Shion's like, no, he was with me the whole night. And the cop is like, but you just told us earlier that he wasn't. You were just at the festival with your friends or whatever. So obviously, he couldn't have been with you. And this is where she's like, oh, actually, I'm not Mion. I'm Shion. So even the cops didn't know that they had a twin, apparently. And this was where the Sonozaki family found out that, well, I mean, they already knew that Shion had escaped. They just didn't know where she was. And now with this, they knew where she was. I'm actually surprised, though, because it sounded like the aunt was, like, trying to interrogate everybody related to the family who might be, like, hiding her. And like, I'm surprised she didn't immediately think to herself, she has a twin. Perhaps her twin is trying to do, you know, trying to hide her as well by pretending to be each other every now and then. Or perhaps the one who escaped is pretending to be the one, you know, Mion on occasion without Mion even knowing. But then again, a part of me was like, maybe Mion just told the grandma everything and has just been telling her everything the whole time for all I fucking know. I don't know what goes on with the Sonozaki planning side of things, but we got to what I'd heard about many times in the Higurashi fandom, the fingernail scene, which I don't remember if I've ever seen it in animated form or whatever, but it was pretty fucked here because they find where she is because she told the cops, I am Shion. They grab her, they pick her up pretty quickly after, bring her to one of the underground torture areas that they have, because of course they have, why not? And they say, okay, because of your fuck-ups and getting involved with that what is their family called? Houjou? The Satoshi Satoko family?
The Houjous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Getting associated with the Houjou family. The Houjous are mostly hated just because their parents supported the dam?
Supported the dam. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if they were the ones who basically were fence sitters. I remember the
That
priest.
was the Furude.
Yeah, the Furude priest was a fence sitter. He basically just didn't argue against it, and that was enough to meet Oyashiro-sama's curse. And the Houjous supported it, so obviously they had to face the curse as well. And so Grandma's like, we can't have a Sonozaki associated with the Houjous. That's no good. And so they're like, okay, retribution. You have to take out 3 of your fingernails. And Shion looks at them and says, well, if I do this, you'll leave them alone, right? You'll leave the 2 people who helped me out. What was it, like her driver and like her uncle or something?
Yeah.
You'll leave them alone, and you'll leave Satoshi alone, right? You'll leave them alone, right? And Mion's just like, you're doing the retribution. You're doing this. That's not a question. So you better get started with it. She's like not answering that. It very much did not go unnoticed that she did not answer that they would be safe or not. But you know, so I think she did the first one properly, and the second one was where it fucked up like halfway or something like that.
We don't have to talk about that part.
It looked very painful to imagine. I was just thinking to myself in the head the whole time, do fingernails grow back, and how long does it take? Like, if you tear them out like that, do they grow back?
They do eventually grow back. It takes like
Yeah.
a good, I want to say
It's a
like a
couple
year,
years.
Let me keep
Yeah.
watching the
probably
pit.
a couple
I'm
years.
sure
It's
there's gonna
like
be a situation
it's
similar
on
to
that time scale at the very least. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, go.
Oh, I was just making a snide, or not snide remark, sarcastic remark. I'm
Well,
sure
stop that.
there's gonna be a situation on the pit. I mean,
Oh, I see.
yeah, there are some pretty gruesome uh, injuries, very similar to that. I think the closest one was someone's wedding. What was it? Warning to any listeners for medical stuff. There was a situation on the show where a patient came into the ER, degloving on the ring finger, and it was trapped under said ring finger. Not sure if it got the nail though. But even then, that was just pretty fucked. When it comes to nails, though, I do think that hope and pray that it grows back. Fuck if I know.
If it takes years to grow back, holy shit. And I can only imagine the whole area is going to be super fucking sensitive and in pain until many of it grows back to shield it. I can only imagine. Yeah, not fun.
The skin regrows first. The
Oh, okay.
nail comes afterwards. You're not
Okay.
stuck with just like raw flesh the whole time.
Okay.
Keratin supplements or something. I don't know.
I have I have this week's readings physically.
Yes.
Actually just these 2 volumes physically. I got them when I was in middle school.
Oh boy.
That people talk about a lot of different Higurashi scenes. The nail one is the one that always stuck with me the most. As the most just terrifying, gross, just yeah. We
I
read
feel like
it.
this hits harder than any of like the other weird torture scenes because this is the easiest
Yeah.
one to actually imagine.
Yes. Yes, because the others are like horror movie scenarios. This is like you have fucked up.
Yeah, I cannot possibly imagine what being gutted alive feels like. I know what that would feel like though.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the contraption, right? It's not some big elaborate thing that's mounted on the wall. It looks like something you could put on your desk.
Yes. Yep.
So it's much
I'm
more
gonna get a new fidget toy.
Oh, dear lord. So it's much more immediate. It's much more you can just
You'll
picture it
stop
there.
fidgeting quickly.
Stop. It's you can just picture it there on the table, and then your fingers start itching, you know, and you go, oh, I don't like this anymore.
What really fucked me about looking at those panels is when it showed like all the blood seeping through the sides of the fingernail. I'm like, oh no, don't do that to me.
I will be honest. I skimmed those pages this
That's
time
fair.
because
That's fair.
I remembered them from being a small child, and I'm just like, I can't. I don't want to. Years ago was enough.
Well, fun times here at the Sonozaki family. You fuck up and you gotta tear out the nails. If you fuck up tearing out the nail the first time, you're not done yet. You get all the pain and you didn't even do it yet, so you gotta keep going. Isn't that fun? So she had to tear out 3 nails, which I think she only got like halfway through the second one before they basically had to tear out the rest of them for her. It was pretty fucking painful, I'd imagine. So, yeah. And then she's just wearing bandages over the fingers the next day, but they did let her go. They let her go. And
I hope she's on a bunch of painkillers.
I would hope so as well. They let her go, and apparently Mion, later we find out, also put herself through the same 3 fingers. I don't remember if she said that was her choice or if the grandma made her. It sounded like she had said, like,
It was
I didn't
her
want
own
you to
choice.
feel that pain alone or something like that. But I didn't remember.
No, it was her own choice.
Okay. So, because a part of me was thinking, though, I was thinking, like, okay, one of them had their nails torn out. Now you can definitely tell the 2 apart just through that feature. But then the other one did the fucking same thing, and I'm like, okay, well, because I was thinking back towards what Tanagashi had when we read that. I was like, at the end there might have been a little switcheroo with the twins, but you know, I'm like, we definitely be able to tell based on the nails, but I
All
guess
down
not.
to the back tattoo now.
I don't know. So the nail stuff happened, and Satoshi later on disappeared. I forget how long it took in between that stuff and then Satoshi disappearing. But basically, Satoshi
Literally
at some point,
the next day.
Okay, so Satoshi disappears. Supposedly had enough money for the bear. The bear was bought. Nobody can confirm if it was Satoshi who bought it, primarily because the owner of the toy store, which I thought it was weird when they went in to go reserve it, and someone had to walk in and say, "Oh, sorry, the owner here is senile. Let me reserve this for you." I was like, why did we have to announce this? Why couldn't you just do the order? And it was because we had to call back to it later when they're like, "Oh, surely the owner can confirm who bought it, right?" No, sorry, he can't. He's senile, so he can't tell us who actually who actually bought it. I'm like, oh, all right, so we're gonna go with that. Okay, fine. So we can't confirm if Satoshi bought the bear or not. The $1,000 fucking bear. I'm sorry, I say $1,000. I don't know how much
Who else would have bought it?
That plus it was reserved for Satoshi, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But supposedly the idea would be he would have bought the bear and then gone back to Satoko with it, but never did? ? Disappeared, and nobody knows where he went. My immediate assumption, and I think this was my assumption before when we had read one of the arcs talking about this, my main assumption was probably fucking died after. Somehow, just thrown in the swamp. Why not? Because again,
say that with a question. I think he just fucking died.
I mean, because like, I can't imagine leaving with the type of person he was, leaving Satoko. I don't know, because like Shion kept saying at times, like, his life would be better if you weren't holding him back, Satoko. I bet he wishes that you weren't in his life. I bet he wishes he could just leave. Or I don't think that's how he is, or I would at least like to hope that's not how he is, because then I'd feel even worse for Satoko. It doesn't seem like Satoko did anything wrong. I don't know.
I like the order of priorities. He works his part-time job. He gets his paycheck. He goes buys the bear, and then he decides, now that he's broke and has a really expensive bear, to just leave town.
Yeah, I did just think to myself for a minute, him buying the bear and being like, "This is my bear now. I don't gotta share it with anybody. Bye-bye." He just goes on an adventure with his giant stuffed bear. It's like
he actually wanted the bear.
Oh my god. In read chat, we did have a few messages from Ruben in the chat. Some of these were from a while ago. That's one expensive bear. That's true. Very expensive. Because Oyashiro wills it to be expensive. Don't question it. That's true. It's very true. Again, my thoughts. Does it come with a gun? Are we seeing? Is this a front and there's a weapon inside of the bear? Then I would understand things. But
Coke. We love Coke.
Oh, okay, I see. Also, we have a follow from the Mental Stone. I'm assuming that's you, Stone. Is that your Twitch there?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Ruben also said, "I think it's mentioned to be both, but it's less on Satoshi because he's more willing to comply and get along. I'm assuming this was talking about like Shion liking Satoshi and Satoshi liking Shion.
Mm.
Satoko is the one who's trying to get along and starting arguments with the aunt, not to victim blame Satoko. It shouldn't be happening at all, but yeah. Wait, what was I'm trying to make sure I understand, because maybe I was misunderstanding what this is a reference to. Satoshi.
Oh, it's about were both of the siblings abused? I
Oh.
think.
Both siblings are being abused, but
Yes.
Satoshi is having to like suffer more in trying to cover for Satoko being younger
Right. Okay. I
and
see.
less able to just go along with things, and yeah.
Okay. Yes. I understand. And then we have the nail scene is worse psychologically as well because it's your own family doing it to you. Oh my god. They're like all making you.
True.
Her family is treated her
You're
so
looking at
bad.
your own face while she tells you.
It's just like,
You have to
sorry,
do this. It's your duty.
sorry, you were born the twin. You were born the second in the pair of twins, so your life has got to be like this. We gotta trap you at a school. You try to show up again, we have to make you tear out your fingernails. You try to fall in love with somebody. Sorry, we gotta disappear him. Maybe I don't know for sure if they're the ones who did it, but can't have you associating with him. Like, man, there's. Anyways, what are. I'm trying to organize my head. In my head, what the next order of events would have been: Satoshi disappearing, and then Shion obviously wondering why the fuck he would disappear, who would be causing it, thinking more about Oyashiro-sama's curse, and borrowing notes from the nurse Takano, borrowing notes from Takano to learn more about what she has researched about it. Pretty much now learning about the connection between all of the deaths over the years. I think she had known or suspected it a little bit before, or heard about it a little bit before, and then we had seen it acted out with the aunt being violently murdered and then Satoshi disappearing. And it's meant to look to her like this is a continuation of the pattern, and there are people that are related to the dam stuff. And I'm just thinking to myself, that more seemed like, if I am to understand that Satoshi did kill the aunt and then later on ran away so that he couldn't get caught by the cops for doing it or whatever, if that is the assumption I'm supposed to make, then it's a question of, did somebody in the village convince him or tell him that he should do it and set that up for the... Is it similar to the thing that we had theorized at the beginning of the talks where we had said perhaps the village allows people to kill someone and then they help them escape so they could just commit a murder to kill somebody and then just leave forever, and the whole town covers it up? Or what's going on with that?
I mean, it does feel a little like we've seen this exact situation play out before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a question of whether it's that, or if Satoshi just did this all on his own and the village is just like, well, if it helps us get rid of 2 Hojo family members, fuck it. We'll help him hide it, I guess, and help him get out maybe, or something. Because it reminded me of one of the arcs, maybe it was Time Killing arc, where it shows us Keiichi trying to bury the body of the uncle that he had just killed, and then the next day we find out when he's digging up for the body has been moved. It was either not there or somebody else had come by and moved it and fixed the fucking crime scene because he was very bad at hiding his evidence of the crime. I was thinking of that kind of stuff where I'm just like, okay, so perhaps it's details like that where the village is coming to help sort this out. They know a crime has been committed. but it is a crime that lines up with what things that they were planning to do anyways. So fuck it, get them out of here, and just wipe their hands of that. I think there was also the implication of perhaps they had promised to give Satoko a good life. Now that the aunt's out of the way and Satoshi's gone, get rid of those two, and then they'll promise to give Satoko a good life in their place, perhaps. But then it makes me just think, okay, but what about the bear? Why would you take the bear with you? Why wouldn't you at least drop that off to Satoko? I don't know. There's a lot to think about with that kind of stuff. A lot of details. What do people think may have happened with Satoshi? What's the theories going on with who killed the aunt? What happened with Satoshi and the bear? Do we have thoughts?
I think that Oyashiro-sama saw his thoughts of leaving and erased him, you know? It's what he
see.
deserves.
I see.
Yeah, he tried to leave Hinamizawa.
Yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that at all. Randa said so.
Satoshi's part-time job was actually as a hitman.
For the Sonozakis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, impressive.
Right, and they had to tie up loose ends.
Oh, okay. They ended his contract. I see.
This is actually the prequel to the most recent Hitman game.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. Well.
He took out a loan for that bear, and the loan sharks came after him.
Oh shit. The bear is where he kept his weapons. I see. That's why it's so expensive. Okay.
Yeah, he got in a full shootout over the teddy bear.
I would believe it. The senile old man was not senile at all. He had multiple rifles under his clothes. He was ready to fight him for it. I believe it. We have another comment here in the chat from Ruben. Yeah, that's what makes Shion's character so fascinating. Her obsession with Satoshi is unhealthy. Her victim-blaming behavior on Satoko is terrible. And her thought process is borderline psychopathic, lacking empathy, and the blaming of others for her unhappiness. But considering her upbringing with her family, it's no wonder she is this bitter person. Yeah, I was going to say that it would be understandable with how abandoned she has been by her family, pretty much. She pretty much, like, I do not blame her for having developed this unhealthy connection with Satoshi because of how little connections it seems like she was able to actually make. It seems like the closest connection that she is able to still have is with her twin sister over the phone, but even that's still very distant for a number of reasons of their family fucking with Shion or trying to keep Shion out of things. So, you know, it's and any connections that she does make in a lot of the times, it's not as herself, it's as Mion, which is also frustrating, I'd imagine, a lot for her. She can't be her own person in all of this. So, yeah, the way that she acts towards Satoko, not good, but it's sort of understandable for why she thinks that way, which I think is very interesting, looking at it from like a writing perspective, like with how Ryukishi focuses on this stuff, because like he said, or like we said before, with the fact that he has a background in social services, like childcare work or whatever. The fact that he has that background, he probably has seen situations like that where people are blaming some of the kids for even being abused like that or whatever, and he's probably emulating that in this kind of scene too, because it felt very real with that whole scene, I thought. So it was it's very powerful. Okay, everything that goes on with Satoko's storyline, Satoshi's story, like that whole side of things, I always think is very strong, because I feel like it is coming from like a very real place. I don't know. But yeah. So Satoshi disappears, and Shion's like, I don't know where he went, and then we jump to a year later, and she's still wondering where he went, but everybody else in town is forgetting him or choosing not to acknowledge him or that anything happened that year. Nothing happened in 1982 in Hinamizawa. Don't worry. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Hey, did you meet that new family that just moved into the mansion?
Yeah, it looks kind of like someone we knew all those years ago. Or I mean, the last year. Wow. Don't remember his name though. Anyways, Keiichi is here now, and we basically see all the, like a lot of the scenes that we had seen before in the Watanagashi arc, except now we're seeing it all from Shion's perspective, such as meeting Keiichi for the first time when he doesn't know at the time that this is Shion. She only reveals that she's Shion to him later when he goes to the cafe and she's in the outfit at Angel Mort. But that we only really saw in the Watanagashi arc, the Cotton Drifting arc reading itself. But here it was a reintroduction to the first time it was comparing the first time she met Satoshi with the first time she met Keiichi, which is very similar in that they both met at times where she has walked up to and then knocked over an entire line of bikes, and then the bikers got really upset with her and yelling at her, and she starts crying. I think she says, like, just pretend crying at them, and then someone shows up to help. And the first time was Satoshi saving the day, and the second time was Keiichi, who immediately started saying, I was like, I know the bullshit he's saying is from something I heard before, and I couldn't remember who had said it before. He was saying something like, because the guys were talking about, like, basically taking off all of Shion's clothes as repayment for fucking with their property or whatever is what they were trying to do. They're basically trying to do all that kind of weirdness to her. And he bursts in to push him back and say, no, you gotta leave the socks on at least, or something like that. We're humans, okay? We've developed a culture of clothes. If you make them all naked, you're nothing but animals. And I'm just like, this is our hero moment here, and we're saying shit like this. And I was I was thinking to myself, is this something Battler said? But then I think, like, in a couple other panels later, he was like, oh, okay, I had to pull out my dad's secret technique. And I was like, did his dad say that? I guess he did. I didn't remember it, but I believe that his dad probably would. But
we haven't seen much of his dad, but from what I remember, he's kind of a fucking weirdo, so.
Yeah, I was like, was it the dad or was it, like, the baseball guy? There was a baseball guy at some point who was obsessed with, like, strawberry sweets or whatever, I thought. I was like, was it that guy who said this line before? Because I was like, I've heard this line before. Something about, like, we've grown to develop clothes, and it was like some pervert lines about that, but it was said by somebody who's having, like, a hero moment or whatever. But
he did have his weird speech for the baseball guy about, like, comparing sweets to women, I think.
Oh, that's true. He did do
innocent
that.
young girls or whatever.
Yep, he did do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so he basically did. I don't remember. I think he just scared the guys away by being weird like that. I don't remember, but either way, he helps out Shion, gives her a head pat, much like Satoshi used to, and then she's just like, "This isn't Satoshi, but it feels kind of similar." And then she's like finding out more about this guy and being like, okay, so this is somebody that Mion is getting close to, but I'm getting a lot of feelings like I did when I was with Satoshi. And she has to, like, stop herself every now and then to be like, I won't forget you, Satoshi. I'm not falling in love with somebody else instead of you, Satoshi. I'm still waiting for you, Satoshi. And it's mostly messing with her, because then she starts spiraling more into thoughts about like what happened to Satoshi, somebody related to the Oyashiro-sama curse, potentially my own family, probably fucking killed him. I don't, or they made him go away. She starts thinking that she's hearing the footsteps, or maybe she is hearing the footsteps behind her. And instead of people who like Keiichi who are like scared of that, she goes, "Yippee! That's you, Satoshi! Satoshi's so funny. He's like always following me at the same pace behind me. I can never see him, but he's like following, and sometimes he gets so nervous that he like makes an extra step. It's so weird, haha." She's like writing this in like a diary or journal or something. She's very normal about it. She's very normal right now. It's fine. I think it's fine. It's just it's fine.
It fits her delusion.
We did see the scene where they sneak into the Saiguden again, and this time we get to see how loudly she hears all the sounds in there that Keiichi just did not hear at all. So, we get a little auditory hallucinations, probably. Just a little bit. It reminded me of the Telltale Heart, if you guys know that. But there it was more so. In that story, it was a sign of like guilt overwhelming you. I don't know if that's necessarily what that's supposed to be here for Shion, or if it was just like an overwhelming sense of like dread for the area that they were currently in, or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, gas leaks are supposed to happen eventually. I mean, the gas leak stuff might probably come up later. By the way, the gas leak thing is coming from, I'm looking in chat to Soul saying the gas leaks got to Shion early. The gas leak stuff did not come up yet, but probably will next week. This is only the first half of this arc. Every other arc before this that we discussed, we were able to read the whole thing in 1 week because each arc prior to this was only 2 volumes. Starting from this one, they are more than 2 volumes each arc. This one is 4 volumes, and then the next one I think is like 6 volumes? And then after that, we get into volumes that are... Oh no, the next one is also 4 volumes, but after that, it's 6 volumes, but from that point is where they're all omnibus releases. So, that's going to be a whole thing. But yeah, so... I was actually surprised at how fast we were going through this other side of Watanagashi-hen, despite also having loaded a lot of it at the beginning with the stuff from the 1 year ago, Satoshi stuff. We got pretty close to the end, towards the finale of Watanagashi-hen, I think. This was like Shion eventually losing her shit on Mion and all that. When I led up to it, it was they broke into the Saiguden like we saw before, and then they found out the news later that Takano and Tomitake were both dead, and I think assumed that it was because of the fact that the 4 of them broke into the Saiguden, and was assuming that she and Keiichi were going to be next, so she wanted to both do something about that, but also very clearly get more answers about what the fuck happened with Satoshi. So she brings out the stun gun. We stun gun Mion, stun gun the grandma. Apparently grandma died from the fucking stun gun, which with how old she was looking, I can believe.
Yeah.
She was just like, all right, grandma, wake up. You can't pretend to be asleep now. I'm going to burn off your nose with this lighter here. Grandma? Ah, shit, she's dead. Doesn't stop her from beating up the grandma, the body of the grandma, in frustrations, and then throwing her down the well? Or... I don't remember if we actually saw her throwing her down the well, but she's about to throw her down the well, basically.
She'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, sure. And Mion is the one in the cage currently, as we wrapped up the week, in the cell, which I believe is different than the implication we were supposed to get in Watanagashi Hen. It's been a while since we did that, so I was trying to remember. I had thought the implications was that Shion was in the cage, and Mion was the one who was going to do the, I don't know, put Keiichi on the torture device thing and then just disappear or something. I forget what happened with that. So I guess next week we'll more so find out if a switcheroo of sorts like that did happen, or if there's still time for Shion and Mion to talk and then work something out and then swap roles again. It's always possible. But it more so seems like the switcheroo did in fact take place. But then we get the weirdness of the years later. My assumption is, of course, because we have not just one but like 2 volumes left, and we have a whole bunch of things that were unanswered for the randomness that happened in the post-credits scene stuff of the Cotton Drifting arc. We're probably gonna see the other side of how the night in the underground dungeon stuff ended. Then we're gonna jump to the future stuff where years later, supposedly the Shion / Mion showed up again to stab Keiichi, and then he ends up in the hospital. And then supposedly the creepy head pops up under the bed, which definitely really happened. Gaslight at some point is going to happen. I would assume a Gaslight will probably happen in that time frame as well. Yeah. Other details. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of Mion Shion's relationship. How do we feel about their relationship? Do we have any thoughts about them?
Not the healthiest.
In what way not the healthiest?
You know, everything. Considering the events that are, or well, the information that we're going through right now. Yeah. And it's only gonna go, I would assume, it's only gonna go even more batshit once we go into volumes 3 and 4 for this arc.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it seemed like the only few people that Shion made a genuine connection with, or was able to make a genuine connection with, was Mion, Satoshi, and Keiichi. Well, Keiichi not as strong, I don't think. But
comparison.
But it was mostly closeness with Keiichi as like a proxy for missing Satoshi, I guess. But the fact that she's just questioning whether or not Mion was at all involved with Satoshi now is like a huge mindfuck to her, because it's like, this is like the only other person I know in the world who I sort of kind of felt close to, or was allowed to feel close to, and she probably was involved with killing or getting rid of who was a man who was probably the love of my life, who I am unhealthily obsessed with. So, you know, she's kind of going a little wild in response to that, but as we had mentioned before, it's probably a little justified based on how her entire life has been treating her up until this point, which kind of goes into a lot of the themes of that's been like directly stated a couple times in this volume of characters who have done nothing wrong, and yet they are treated in fucked up ways by those around them when they haven't done anything wrong, either through just the nature of the family they come from, or the circumstances of their birth or whatever. Like nothing really. They didn't really do anything to like cause this, and yet this is how life has treated them, and it's just a question of like, do you let that take over you and snap in these ways, and what are the consequences of that, or like how do you handle that kind of situation with that? Yeah, it's
Oh, we're gonna learn this coming week. I mean, it seems like she's about to choose violence.
just a little. Just listen. It's just stun gun shenanigans. She didn't know the grandma would die, but now that the grandma's dead from it, I mean, you might as well, do what you can. I mean,
Stun gun in name only. It might as well just be called just. I mean, might as well just be gun. At that point, beat her to the punch.
you know, I was trying to. Oh, there was another brief scene as well in the that I forgot to mention earlier. Back in the 1982 Satoshi being there bit, where
Mhm.
Rika goes to Satoko during the festival and said, "So if all your problems go away tomorrow, you'll be able to smile again, right? Don't worry. It's already been decided." What are you talking about, Rika? Don't worry about that. Nipa. Just don't worry. Have a fun time at the festival. Everything will be okay tomorrow.
As the
Everything will be
monkey's
all
jaw
right.
curls, you just hear Nipa.
I forget if this has been stated. Please remind me. I understand the aunt died, and I understand Satoshi either died and or just ran away and or disappeared for whatever circumstances. Satoshi's no longer there. What happened to the uncle? Did the uncle choose to leave at the same time as well? Or is the implication here now that like the villagers made him leave so that they could take care of Satoko? Or like did they tell us before that the uncle just left just to abandon her at this moment at the same time as the aunt dying? Or what's...
I don't recall any mention of the uncle, to be quite honest. After like the aunt got done in.
Because in the curse killing arc, the uncle shows back up after like being gone for I think a year, just because he shows up after that time, and that's where we get into the whole like we got to try to call somebody and say there's been abuse at the home over this guy, and all that kind of stuff. And they were trying to be like, well, he's been gone for like a year. Clearly, that's bad, right? It was, well, it's not being gone for a year. It's whatever. It's like, is it whatever?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think what was it? If I remember correctly, the uncle does come to Hinamizawa. I think their quote unquote aunt might not be the actual aunt. I recall the uncle like
Oh, that is true.
leaving a city to be with their mistress, and then returning to the city afterwards.
That sounds correct. That
Might
probably
not be
sounds
the
correct.
aunt might not be the actual aunt, just aunt in name only.
Okay. Yes, that might be correct. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all these details. I just remembered a lot of other things about that arc standing out to me more. But little details like that, pretty important too, I think. So, real quick, we got another message in chat from Ruben. A couple messages, actually. Keiichi's reintroduction is priceless. Who's gonna forget a guy saving you by going on a rant about Russian porn, lol. And then, I love Higurashi for its treatment of serious subject matter and character writing. It's why I wish Ryukishi did not include all that weird otaku pandering stuff. I don't know exactly what that means, but yeah, I do appreciate a lot of his seriousness about especially these kind of topics. Like I said before, it does really show that he did used to be a social worker in many of those respects. So it's very, very nice to see that understanding of those subject matters. but it's also very nice to see the understanding of how like characters like Shion would feel from the way that they're raised, from all of those circumstances, like the connections they make with people in general. Very, very understandable, and you know, it's good. Like I mean, it's always interesting when you're writing these kind of angles from the perspective of like twins, because there's a lot of different interesting things that you can look at and explore with that kind of characters relationships in writing, and like the things that they might struggle with. But it's also interesting given the nature of putting all of this in a mystery setting, and then also adding in the love interest being involved in a family that's going through abusive situations and all that. So there's a lot of things added onto it that make it feel more and more real. And then you add in the fact that she's from a Yakuza family angle to it. Very, very, very cool, very interesting. Higurashi is a very interesting writer. I think one of the afterwards that we'll read this week from him was him basically saying, yeah, so the original games pretty much went unnoticed until like the curse killing arc, pretty much, or time killing arc or something. Up until then, I was just writing. But then after a certain point, people started like expecting shit from me, and I had a lot of pressure from that, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'll like write things and eventually try to look past the pressure, but the pressure's always still there or something. He'll word it better than me when we go to read it. But it is always interesting to me the subjects he'll focus on, and how it just all seems to work out. I think I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say. How did we feel about so we talked about the Satoshi side of things. How do we feel about the Shion response to everything in the like 1983 Oyashiro-sama stuff? The imprisoning the sister and killing the grandma and plotting other things potentially. How are we feeling about Shion's crash out, I guess? Is it
Good for her.
Okay, yeah, of course the women apologists is gonna say good for her, you know, speak her truth. God forbid, you know, women
God
in
forbid a
hobbies.
woman do anything.
Listen. What was that tweet I saw earlier today? It was like, there's morally gray characters, but what about morally green characters? Characters that are morally green. Well, there you go. We have her. She's right here.
I mean, she did bring up the point of like, which it might have been mentioned earlier in one of the past arcs of like, well, the photographer guy and the nurse lady, it's like that couldn't have been it because we found both of those bodies. And one person like of a pair is supposed to just never be seen again.
Yep, I remember that because that was just like, this is her trying to talk through it with, this is Shion trying to talk through it with Mion, who seemingly does not know, what was the detail that she seemingly didn't know? Was it about Takano and Tomitaki dying, or was it, there was a detail that...
It was
that they went into the Saiguden.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, that's the detail, yeah. Like it was pretty clear that Mion didn't realize that. And I did wonder that at a certain point. I was like, maybe those two were killed not for reasons about going to the Saiguden, and she's just been assuming that her and Keiichi were going to be the next targets with it, and everybody else is just like, we didn't even know you guys were in there. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then Shion thinks that she's 5 steps ahead because she's like, "Oh, I know then that they were killed because they went to the Saiguden, so I'm next." And it's like, well, we're kind of jumping ahead a bit. Shion.
All she did was overhear them in a room saying, "Those brats went too far this year. We'll take care of them." And then she's like, "All right, they know what we did. They gotta go."
Yeah.
To be clear though, I don't think she's too crazy for, because I think the scene at least shows it as she overhears that, and then Mion just grabs Shion and drags her over when she's on the phone or something, and she's in like serious I am the future head of the Sonozaki family mode, which she was in previously when she was like, you gotta pull your fingernails out. Now in that scene though, it's more of an understanding of she has to act like this because she's in front of the rest of the Sonozaki, like the grandmas here, probably. Like she has to assume the role here. But I don't know if she necessarily had to there, but maybe it was an implication of like the grandma's like in the next room, so you do have to behave like this or whatever. Either way, the stun gun came out, and none of it mattered. So stun gun solves everything, apparently.
By creating new problems.
Of course. Such as killing the grandma before you can get an answer out of her. And and trapping Mion in a cell who didn't even realize they were in the Saiguden. Not that it matters, apparently. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, but it was all of this was in relation to them saying Mion didn't realize that they were in the Saiguden, and she's like, okay, but those two were found. I thought the rule was one disappears, one is found, but two of them were found. So, and then she just
that
goes,
must mean
unless
there's more
there was,
that need to be sacrificed.
Yeah, unless there was 4 people who went into the Saiguden. It's like, wait a minute, that's exactly what did happen. Oh shit! Listen, you mean to tell me we got 2 deaths and now Keiichi and Shion can go disappear? Sure, why not? Fuck it. This is most likely, that stuff is where it's probably going to most likely just directly connect to Reina and Keiichi going to the house and being like, hey, we're here to talk to you. We're pretty sure you did the things. Although, now that I think back to it though, was Watanagashi had the one where it was, right? Rena and Keiichi go to Mion because it wasn't just Takano and Tomitake who died. They had also, or maybe they just went missing. Satoko. They're like, where's Satoko? Was it Satoko? There was Satoko and Rika. I don't remember if they both disappeared or if they died. I don't know if I'm getting.
They both disappeared as well.
Okay, they both disappeared. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Shion's just here assuming that her and Keiichi are going to be the ones who disappear. Okay. Well then, if the disappearance hasn't happened yet, which we don't know for sure yet, I don't think. If they haven't disappeared yet, then perhaps Shion will orchestrate that. Oh yeah, because we do still have to see the ladder scene where she's like, "Fucking Satoko, I hate Satoko." So, okay, so that'll be Shion at that moment as well. I'm thinking through it all in my head now. Okay. I won't go through all of it here because I feel like it's just gonna be rehashing all the scenes from Watanagashi Hen and being like, "Oh yeah, so that would be Shion at this point." Okay, I see.
Putting some things together.
Yeah, I mean, if I am going with the assumption that Mion's just staying in this cell the entire time from this point forward, then a few things click into place with that, I guess. Answers in the Answers arc, if you will. That's wild. That's crazy.
What the fuck?
Who would have thought?
Is that allowed?
Ruben says, Shion's crash out was inevitable. Was it right? No, I don't think anything she did was justified. Listen, okay. We have a women apologist here. Okay, apologize for Shion.
No, she did nothing wrong.
Okay. Based. That works. We take it.
Girls will be girls.
Women's rights, women's wrongs, and a secret third thing.
Whimsy.
Homicide.
Oh. Whimsy and homicide. Okay. Are these separate things or are they like at the same time?
If you aren't being whimsical in your homicide, you're not doing it correctly.
She was having Joker
Yeah.
moments towards the end. She was laughing a lot.
Exactly.
And you know, her
She's
hair is green.
experiencing joy for the first time in her life.
Okay. Listen, it's fun, joy, whimsy. It's allowed for Shion. For now.
Live, laugh, lacerate, you know.
Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, I think it was supposed to be implied that most of the events we learn or are learning about here is through like a journal written by Shion. Or just notes written by Shion. At some point. By the way, it has finally occurred to me that we've had several times now where a syringe is involved at some point, and we have a nurse who's also in the cast, and a doctor. For some reason, I think I was only just assuming it was something related to the Sonozakis and drugs, the syringe. But, it could be something like Takano, who very clearly, in one of the arcs, killed Tomitake. You know, might have been involved in that syringe situation stuff. Maybe. I don't know. Perhaps. Yeah, Takano stuff was just her showing up and saying, "Hey, you hear about them curse? You hear about them curses? You want to borrow my notes on it? A small child who I've just met. Here's my notes on it. You go study about Oyashiro-sama's curse. It's a fun read."
Read these news reports about brutal murders.
And then Oishi showing up to give us some creepy faces, try to interrogate children, and then, where is he? When the stun gun comes out and the grandmas start dying and the people start going in the dungeons, like where is he then? He's just being creepy, probably interrogating a child right now. What's he doing with his life? Check out my true crime podcast about the Hinamizawa murders.
Please come into my air-conditioned car.
Listen, it's got AC. It's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I guess. Oh, by the way, I want to talk. Okay, I know we joked about how expensive the fucking teddy bear is. I know we joked about it. However, I can't help how fucking hard the Volume 2 cover looks with Satoshi and the bat and the bear. I can't help how hard it goes.
I love it. I love it.
I'll show it on stream for those who are watching it in a visual manner. It goes so hard, despite how stupid fucking expensive the bear is.
Actually, speaking of the art, I really love the art from this episode. I really like how all of the characters are drawn except Oishi. They all look very nice. Really good anatomy. And the faces all look very cute. But they're not. It's like they're very moe. But it's still very good at capturing the horror moments. It's like the artist is still really good at drawing those more terrifying parts, and it doesn't feel like they are like having to cram in the horror into Matt to fit with their moe style. You can actually tell that they are just a well-rounded artist with those kinds of expressions and such.
Right.
There's just a lot of really great manga panels and expressions in, I mean, just even these 2 volumes that we've read for this episode. And it really surprised me that the artist has not done much work. Like they've done a fair amount of work, but it's mostly been Higurashi and When They Cry stuff. Not really much else. I was expecting like multiple lines of stuff on their Annie list, but it's not a lot, really.
It should be the same artist as the Con Drifting arc, right? So continuing that,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can tell here that they gained even more experience in between them. It just feels very well done.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cotton Drifting finished in 2006, and the eye-opening one did start a little bit later. Looks like a couple months later. You can feel like they now have. You can feel that they are very comfortable with the characters by this point. With Miyakashi Hen, so yeah, I'm surprised they don't have much else. It's like all Higurashi and a couple like 1-shots and 2-shots.
This was unfortunately the case for like most of the artists involved with the Higurashi adaptations. I think the bulk of them pretty much didn't really or hadn't really done much except for Higurashi adaptations, which is interesting. Also kind of a little unusual that they never really did too much after that, but I don't know. Maybe just
I can only assume. I honestly, so the artist for this for Miyakashi Hen is Yutori Houjou.
Yep.
Which is a little funny. The Houjou.
True. Yep.
I believe it's spelled differently, but based on the time frame, because this was like 2006 and such, 2005. I can only imagine that he found some of these at Comic-Cons, and that's why they don't have much on their like Annie list stuff.
Oh,
that they
would make
were
sense,
like
yeah.
division artists. That is my assumption, though. My
Okay.
guess, just because I mean Higurashi and Umineko were released yearly at Comic-Con, so it would make
Right.
sense for you to find if you're looking for artists. Well, turn to your neighbors.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, yeah, I do really. I was very excited when we went back to this artist because I think I really liked this artist style specifically from the Cotton Drifting arc, the most from the Questions arc art styles. I think. I remembered a lot of the Cotton Drifting arc's art style, and then I remembered how I think it was for Curse Killing arc, how that one artist specifically focused on Takano. I think those were the standout art style moments for me. That artist was just really obsessed with Takano. It was it was such a big difference there with that, I think. Anyways, yeah. The artist here is back and like you said, better than ever. I like it. Afterwards, I'll read some of the afterwards that we got for this week. First one says, about the eye-opening arc, that which exposes the underside. Based on the contents of the eye-opening arc, you could easily call it the Shion arc. Shion Sonozaki is Mion's younger twin. At the same time, she is the other side of Mion, or rather, she is a character positioned on the other side of the story. She is the only one of all the heroines who doesn't live in Hinamizawa. She's not even allowed to live in Hinamizawa. While she is the spitting image of Mion, her existence is the exact opposite. So I think you'll understand that writing Shion's story is basically the same as depicting the underside of the world of Higurashi when they cry. The eye-opening arc starts in 1982, 1 year before the main story's setting in 1983. What underside will this arc expose? I sincerely hope you will continue to enjoy it. When everything in the eye-opening arc is revealed, maybe it will spectacularly betray some of your speculation, or your deductive reasonings, or your expectations. But please, don't be afraid of that, because those of you who have enjoyed the eye-opening arc... wait, what? I think I skipped a line. Because those of you who experience that feeling are the ones who will have enjoyed the eye-opening arc most of all. There you go. And then the next afterword. About the eye-opening arc when it was in production. Hello, this is Ryukishi07. Thanks to all of you, Higurashi When They Cry has been made into a manga and has gained immense popularity. But for the first 2 years or so after the original series began, it was completely unknown. It was right around the time between the curse-killing arc and the time-killing arc that it gradually started making a name for itself over the internet, and from there, it was catching everyone's attention before I knew what was happening. And so, while I was able to take it easy writing it up through the time-killing arc, I remember feeling more than a little pressure writing the eye-opening arc, and on wanting to live up to everyone's expectations. It's only natural that when people have high expectations for you, you want to write something that meets those expectations. But does that mean that if no one has any expectations for you, you end up saying that's good enough? That's not what it means at all, is it? It has absolutely nothing to do with the expectations or pressure. When it comes to putting everything I have into the work that I'm constantly making, it has nothing to do with whether or not anybody knows about the series. Feeling that way, I meant to write the story without losing to the pressure. But every time I read it again, I remember the pressure from back then. And even now, I feel like it could crush me. I suppose I'm not very brave. Wry smile. That's how he ends that, so. Alright, there was technically also a note, I think, from the author in one of them. Hello, this is Houjou. Thank you very much for reading the eye-opening arc Volume 2. Starting with Volume 3, we will finally get to see the reverse side of the cotton drifting arc. As the person drawing it, I might be looking forward to it more than anyone. Well, then I would be honored to... Well, then I would be honored to meet you again in Volume 3. That's what they wrote. But I think, not in this one, but in the other volumes ending, they had a little bonus meme comic of the Doctor in a baseball outfit, and then he was in a giant teddy bear outfit. I wanted to bring it up not because of the comic. I wanted to bring it up because the artist had a little note saying, "Can you find the 4 mistakes in this comic? The answers are on the next page." Or it was like find the mistakes, and then there's answers for the mistakes.
Oh, that was Volume 1.
Yeah, Volume 1.
Flipping through 'em. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Can you find them right now? The mistakes?
It's very hard to point out a teddy bear with masculine aura. Whatever the fuck that means.
I would show the image. Why? I mean... No, I mean, it's just, there's, I mean, I have the answers for what the mistakes are, so I could just say them, but I don't know if I should wait, but.
Yeah, wait, what?
It's just, apparently it's just mistakes in the bonus 2-page comic.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong here? This looks fine.
Alright, you ready? Because apparently it's not fine. Apparently you're wrong.
Okay, I flipped back. I mean, the outfit looks correct. That looks like his baseball uniform.
Yeah.
His bangs are right. ADA is wearing glasses.
Yeah. Well, however, what about, let's see here. What about his lower eyelashes? You ever think about that?
No, I did never think about that.
No? What about Satoshi's dominant hand being reversed? You ever think about that?
I didn't know what his dominant hand was.
Wrong. See? What about Satoko's clothes? Those are also mistakes, apparently.
I mean,
It's not her
she's
outfit,
wearing, like,
huh?
She's wearing like a patched up shirt. I thought it was to emphasize how like
Wrong.
sad her life is.
How about there's snow falling only around Satoko, huh? Explain that one.
Because she's a sad little orphan child.
Yeah, where'd the snow come from? And then you have
It's for being a sad little orphan child.
what's the next one? The last one is
That's
the
true.
teddy bear has a
When
masculine
the bear
aura.
dies, it's just a a single cloud letting snow down, following
Yeah,
you
that's
everywhere.
what happens when you're a sad little orphan child before the age of 10.
Wow, so I can't
Specifically.
believe you couldn't catch these mistakes. I thought you guys were like
Wait,
supposed
I
to be
thought you said there
Higurashi
was
fans.
4.
Oh, I
Oh, it said
I don't
5.
think it was a
Okay.
number. I think it was I think it was like 5.
I mean, Higurashi's alright.
Yeah, it says find the mistakes. There are 5 things in this manga that are clearly different from the main story. And that was it. So there you go. Wow. Anyways, what do we learn here in the eye opener? Are our eyes open yet? I know our fingernails are pretty exposed, but what about our eyes? Are our eyes opened?
Well, actually, on the bright side, you don't have to worry about your fingernails anymore.
That
Yeah.
is true.
That's what you get with a nail-biting story.
Well, it has been a year since the nail tearing has happened. How much would the nails have grown by then? Would they have grown back fully, or are they still in the process?
That's a good question. I don't know.
We're gonna have to do some research on that.
They'll be back for volume 3.
Oh, okay, sure. Yippee!
Yeah, you know.
All right. Any other thoughts and/or topics that we wanted to discuss before we wrap this up for this week? All right.
No.
Hearing
Guatemala.
nothing. That's fine, because next week is when we'll be able to finish the eye-opening arc. So next week we will be meeting to discuss volumes 3 and 4 of Meia-Kashihen, aka the eye-opening arc, here on youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com, kick.wolfborg.com, and Spotify. I do not have spotify.wolfborg.com set up yet, but if you go onto Spotify and you type in the words Anime Book Club, and you look for the one uploaded by Wolfborg, or you just also type Wolfborg, I should be there somewhere. You'll see episodes of us talking about Oran Host Club and episodes of us talking about the Questions arc of Higurashi. Those will be up there, and this episode will be up there eventually. TM. But if you want to catch all these live, you can subscribe to the YouTube. You can follow the Twitch. If you want to join the book club discussions in the text chat and or the live discussion, you can join the Discord at discord.wolfborg.com. In here, we're going to be watching this weekend. We're going to be watching through some more anime seasonals together. The bulk of which will be on Saturday, but we'll watch some on Sunday as well, probably. So we're going through the first episodes of every new seasonal that has aired so far, and we're going to go through all of those. This is how we've watched Witch Hat Atelier together. We watched Akane Banashi together. It's fun times. We get to watch some of the popular stuff that's good, and many of the bad stuff that's the same shit that always happens, but we get to watch it together as a family. It's fun, it's joy, it's whimsical, and you can have that fun too if you join the Discord at discord.wolfborg.com. Yeah, so the plan, I won't be around tomorrow night. I'll probably be at game night with the boys, but Saturday we'll be doing that. Sunday we'll probably do some more of that. And I don't know what stream plans will be like next week, but I'll let you guys know. And eventually we'll be continuing our watch parties of the Oran High School Host Club. I'm sorry, I need to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. We finally got a comment on Spotify, and it was somebody saying bro pronounced it Oran instead of Oran. So I'm going to make sure I say this right.
Get it right, idiot.
Okay, we'll be continuing our watch party of Oran High School Host Club, the anime. We'll make sure we watch more of Oran together as a family. I think we're almost done. I think the next time we watch that together, we're going to be finishing that, like the last 6 episodes. I think. I could be wrong, but we're doing that. And then I think after we're done with that, we're probably going to start more Sailor Moon, I believe. Unless Dorohedoro Season 2 has started, but I don't think it's done. I think we were going to wait until that was done before we watch that together for Season 2 of that. So we'll probably watch more Sailor Moon when we get time for that. Anyways, thank you so much for coming to hang out. We meet for a book club every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So we'll be meeting again next week at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Thursday. If you wish to read and catch up on Higurashi When They Cry, the eye-opening arc, go finish all of the volumes for that, and we'll meet with you next time. Let's see who is around to raid today. Who is up? Who is live? What are they doing? Let's say hi to Kitsuneres is doing Hololive Goro Goro Mountain. Let's go say hi to Kitsuneres. Stay safe, gamers. I appreciate you all. Bye-bye. 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 Wow. Don't let Oyashiro-sama get you. Or Shion. Shion might be worse.
No.
Shion's got the stun gun, and it will fucking kill you and your grandma. Bye-bye.
Not again.